Hands down, awareness is the most important thing we are learning in max stats. This is the thing that we're defaulting into. Because while I'm trying to self-improve, there's no specific direction to go. We tend to sit in the middle and go in all directions to be aware, at, at least for the start, of how many directions are there really. And then it just keeps on branching out. And then maybe, just by being aware of all these branches, that's how you start improving yourself. Just maybe it could go infinitely. Awareness, right? Maybe that's how you grow as a person. It's not about big muscles, lots of money, big ass brain, or being liked by everyone around you. Maybe awareness is enough. Be aware that this happens, that when you do this, this happens, all that crazy stuff, and that this is important, then this works like that. Try a new thing. Trust with your gut. All I can give you is more awareness, right? It's not about questioning me whether I'm verified to tell you the truth. For we will talk about you are on your own. It's not easy to find truth and reality, even through research. Everything is a lie. The only true thing is whatever you make of the world that actually works. Meaning that it's awareness that will help you with this journey of being on your own. Right? You need to find what works, and it's not fucking easy. You know? You need to move your pieces, the pieces that you have personally. As much as I would try to improve other people's lives, this is the greatest thing, right? To let people know that they are unique people, they have unique resources, and they have to do their own thing to improve their own resources. I cannot do it for them, all right? Plus, reason capitalism, all right? That's why. You shouldn't be depressed that you're on your own. It just happens to be the phase. And I will explain why that's the case. Besides, you can watch right here the many ways capitalism destroys relationships. And then you understand there's a factor upon factor upon factor to keep you on your own. Literally keep you this way for a specific reason. You know? Whatever you feel, as long as it's discomfort, depression, mental problems, you're on your own on fixing that. And when other people tell you what to do, or even what you have, if you don't believe them, then that's not true, because we're all so separate, we're all so privatized, that no amount of bullying even fucking works. Bullying does not work. The only bullying that works is, I have this, and I won't give it to you. That is the bullying that works, unfortunately. Because everyone is on their own. What everyone has, it's their private property. It's not gonna last forever. And there's only a few years left for this game to continue on, but it's still important to learn everything about it. So let's become aware that we are on our own. I'm trying to generalize, of course, trying to still connect. I'm trying to do the things that I like doing, the things that people shut down so desperately, right? People only care about these dramatic moments. Why? Because everyone is on their own. So if I have some significant insight, a direction to shoot from, basically, I can give a little bit more information about what's going on, right? Because my perspective is unique, I don't even have to have high production videos to perform pretty well. This is good performance. This is not a failed YouTuber, my friends. You just don't have enough experience to understand that I'm doing fine. I don't have enough experience to understand that I'm doing fine. I just know that there's insects running around telling me that something is wrong when nothing is fucking wrong, right? So the first thing, obviously, we remember to fight them haters, to fight back against them haters, and all the stress, all the rest of the nonsense, basically. But awareness helps us do that, as you can tell. Awareness helps us do that so much. Awareness helps us defeat enemies who happen to just be false positives. They're not your enemies. They're just people who want to live their lives and they're not doing that correctly, potentially. Right? But if you click the right button, you turn them off, and you split. Right? I don't know what it takes to turn off Russia, though. Sounds fucking weird. Is everyone like? Is COVID like one of those lies that China spreads, and it's like, oh, no one's gonna believe that, and the rest of the world believes it immediately, and then Russia's like, oh, people just gonna defeat us, and then Ukraine is left fighting Russia all alone, and then Russians are like, what? I thought people are more brave than that. I thought people will just cut our country in half. And then I am left wondering, why do people just give in to the noise when we can just shut it down, right? We're all left wondering when the disaster is hitting, why is everyone just staying passive and like a bunch of losers? They're on their own too, unfortunately. What is also unfortunate, we have to constantly move forward because we cannot stay in the state of being on our own or being lied to or whatever, right? We always have to move forward, which is why this is not going to stay like this forever. We are saved by the movement of time. A lot of people are saved. But we, the self-improvement people, we cannot be saved. We have to improve out of our problems. While everyone is staying and waiting for the better days, we have to actually push through and find the damn thing. Because it will take a lot of time for those people to heal from the apocalypse, right? They'll still be looking for healing here and there and connecting with each other and all that shit. While the successful ones will grab the newly adopting ideologies. This is why it's so important for me to predict the future. I don't have anything else going on. I only have the future to make sure that I jump on the right track to success. Because it's a track. It's a track that we see like billionaires exist. They have accumulated insane amount of wealth. And this is clearly not sustainable because someone can just shoot them in the fucking face if they don't like it. You know? For fuck's sake. They can. They tried. And they succeeded. And the fear should spread to at least question mark if there is an easy solution to avoid simple death after accumulating billions and trillions and quadrillions. Is there a way to at least wake up the next day afterwards? You're on your own. You have to solve that problem on your own. You created wealth, but now you have a problem of you might be too big to succeed in the end, to continue to the next stage. You might be cut off by society and not allowed to move on. America is probably going to face, during the election year, during the real election year, face a disaster of like cutting off these people and telling them that they have to respond. That South African has to go back to South Africa, for example. And people, the right-wing people, they don't understand. They just also blindfolded into just following the right, even though the right is not that strong right now. You know, it has been weakened. Both political parties have been weakened. And the right clearly, now that they have a grip on the country, they're doing stupid shit. you know? And they're proving that they have very little amount of skill of what is actually needed to happen. Just the fact that they have advantage and the left did all the bullshit that they wanted to do already, they have already done it. Just because we have slight advantage and people voted that doesn't mean we're comfortable with achieving great things, right? So right now, historically, in terms of time, we're talking about this shit, bro. He's like, yeah, bro, I know how to pull the plug. I am this fucking powerful. Literally Kamala Harris move of flexing how much power you have, which is degeneracy, basically. It's absolute degeneracy and retardation of him thinking that this is gonna end up in a good way, but everyone is on their own. He is on his own, flexing his power, not realizing that the real achievements come over time and through real experience, and he has to collect experience. As being a president allows you to, have a path of a president instead of doing a bunch of crazy shit and hoping that those crazy things are gonna give success to the country. That is insane. And yes, he got into walk the path of presidency to some extent. 4 years. He's not new to the game. But he did took a 4-year vacation break thing, so unfortunately he is quite new. He has to quite refresh his abilities, and we haven't seen that. He just went into work to hammer this fucking shit, and everything is unstable now. You will see roaches get into America through the cracks. There's going to be election year, and most people will elect losers because they're so depressed. They're so, demoralized by technically good people who just happen to do bad things. Horrible mistakes, let's put it that way. Horrible. Like, what are we going to? Recession? Whatever. You have fun over there, guys. I might actually enjoy now listening to noise around me. I might actually enjoy it when I know everyone else is suffering that much more. So awareness, I love awareness. I crave awareness of building things out of logic. What people don't understand is being on your own makes you weak on purpose. It makes you weak on purpose, dude. Because only the best people survive. Only the best people get elected because they survived. Like this apocalypse is happening to bring more awareness about people who are still doing very well for themselves. You're not supposed to, in society, you're not supposed to be on your own. Because you're just one piece. So it's still replaying in my head when someone asked me to scientifically back my idea about water. And there's no such thing as backing scientifically me. Doing research, I don't have time. But I'm just generally not a scientist, so I don't know where to go to back myself scientifically. I'm just gonna move forward, dude. Unfortunately. And if I'm gonna be confused of like, oh shit, I have to be a wholesome person. Yeah, wholesome person that just creates my own universe and disappears from this one. Everyone would want to do that right now. If they feel bad and feel threatened by all this stupidity around them. Yeah, if I scientifically back myself, I also own a drone farm. I own 20 businesses. If I just scientifically back myself, I become a fucking Iron Man. You don't understand what it means to have another piece of myself working for me in conjunction. Like, I would be 4 or 10 times more powerful by default if I was just capable of manifesting scientific backing to everything that I talk about. You must understand that everyone is on their own, so they're going to be flawed individuals. You can accept their mistakes. Unless you don't like them and you're going to move on to the things that you like. To more wholesome people who employed more people around them even if it's for limited time only, because Mr. Beast's drama keeps getting spicier every single year, and it will fall apart. His Beast games, by the way. Mr. Beast's reign of power is not eternal by any means. But yeah, this awareness of like everyone is on their own, everyone is troubled, and you can sort of be nice to them to shut them down potentially, who knows. But this is so useful right now. Like, this is another lens that I can look through and pick apart all the missing pieces that potentially I had. So we can look back into Mr. Beast and be like, yeah, his empire will crumble no matter. People will get bored, and he will not be able to keep up with the rising problems. He will be surrounded by so many problems, he will have to reset, default, and fall apart and be depressed because he cannot improve himself anymore, which is that one thing we all crave for so deeply. But most importantly, he will be backstabbed because he is on his own. As many friends as he is surrounding himself with, as many people who are willing to hang out with him, they still fall victim to just, realizing that they're on their own. They cannot be appreciated. This is not the world for it. And it's very difficult to live a lie of like, wow, I'm Mr. Beast's best friend or whatever. Like, it's not gonna happen. Having friends is a temporary commodity, temporary boost. And those boosts wear off eventually. Wait, I'm thinking, isn't South Korea like amplifying the problem? Because that's what Asians do, right? That's what liars do. It's not about lying, it's about amplifying what already exists. Fear already exists, so COVID was an amplifying fear, which sucked in everything around us and created this whole pandemic where everything bites, everything hurts. You already, just living a normal life, you're going to be tired sometimes, you're going to be upset sometimes, and irritated, and you're going to have low energy sometimes, and depression will hit you. Imagine what it feels like to be surrounded by depressed people, by the unknown. It's the pandemic by default. There's not have to be a fucking virus involved. There just has to be a lie that spreads fast. And I know that, and I move on because I'm on my own. The only thing I can do is I can leave trail of footprints. I can upload a YouTube video where I say things to myself out loud with as much esteem as I can. Because I'm on my own. I don't have any friends, and this is clear to see. There's not a comment section filled with comments. None of that shit, bro. People are all confused whether they should even click on the video and watch it in the first place. But maybe you do care to see me succeed while Mr. Beast fails, right? While the biggest of the biggest constantly fail, I am successful in improving myself on my own without temporary boost as well. In fact, I'm surrounded by problems, not boosts. And a lot of people do that as well, right? You must not get into a pitfall when it comes to capitalism, right? That is like the worst thing. Because you're on your own, you can easily make terrible decisions, easily make mistakes, easily make a structure that is not stable. Your life might not be stable and fall apart. Because there's no real reason to try and save you. They're not going to go out to save you. You're on your own. So the best winning strategy is to not get in trouble. Funny enough. I never got a driver's license because I have to stay out of trouble. I don't want to make too many enemies. As long as I can make them online, that's not trouble for me. Because other people also have a list of enemies if they're successful, right? So you're just trying to catch up. And again, most of the time when people get out of their way to actually harm you, wow, you're really nailing that position here that I'm not going to be saved, and that a lot of people are scammers, are really nasty people who will take advantage of you more often than not. Unless it's capitalism, unless they established businessmen, and then they are respectable people. They're established. They actually hold on to much greater, much more solid foundation than other people who just want money, right? We saw in the improvement matrix, a businessman is on a whole different path. He's a much more trustworthy individual. Whatever you buy is what you get. And it's very difficult to be scammed when you have all the experience needed to understand whether you're being scammed or not. It's beautiful interacting with businesses over NPCs who have money. Interacting with NPCs who have money, you have to talk about money. You have to say, give me this, give me that, bro. Give me this for that. Only trading works. Now, I still haven't cracked it, guys. I haven't cracked them NPCs. I mean, even cracking my mom to give me some money to make me go to grocery store, I mean, that was a hard bargain. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Hopefully we crack these. Because I have to be surrounded by them to be able to... or why is the discussion is not even happening about money right now? It is happening in like Facebook Marketplace, right? If you want to rent a room, NPCs are everywhere in those specific categories, in these specific pockets of society where things are being sold and bought all the time. That's an interesting situation, actually. You have to socialize, you're forced to socialize, you're forced to say, hey, I have this to everyone, and create a page online or something else. It's a tough one. I just like being aware now so much, guys. Awareness helps you detect all the directions and all the cool things in life. And it also protects you from actually diving in and losing your mind over a specific thing, becoming obsessed over something. So I'm not sure. We need awareness over this of like, yes, this exists and this is the best way to make money, and most people make money that way, and because that is a successful thing to do if you follow this direction. And I've seen people follow this direction, right? For me, awareness is somehow good enough. And if it's good enough, you can kind of move to the next phase, I guess. If you're satisfied by very little, which is just awareness, you're going to be successful tenfold. So now you can be politically aware and all that shit. And I'm not aware of what audience I'm attracting and whether I am successfully interacting with my audience. I don't know. I can only reply to every single comment. I can only do the best I can, right? So that's also a very interesting awareness. Like if you're doing some special videos that don't have a specific audience, it is important to constantly seek grounding by that said audience. I really wish to be able to escape my climate because it's gonna get so fucking hot. But there's no way I can actually afford doing that shit, man. Like, what are we talking about? Thousands upon thousands. Which would buy apartments, basically. For one fucking month, you can buy apartments in here. Or like 6 months, definitely buys you apartments. 100%. What are we talking about? What are this? So much money is being asked. And you understand what that means as well. Because we're on our own is the most fundamental truth in life right now. We're completely on our own. It's happening across TikTok, all over the fucking place. It's insane. Unless you happen to be somehow magically in a couple. You know? What does that mean? People are raising prices because they are desperate and greedy, right? funny, like, okay, I'm on my own. I can't even travel. Right? I don't understand how people do that. It's the most expensive shit. Traveling to where? Where are you gonna live? Travel literally becomes a trap. Don't you want to live for like 2 months of a different place? No, impossible though. Congrats. I traveled to UK just to realize how difficult it is to get a grip on that place. It's nasty, dude. My dad looks funny with this 13,000 euros in his pocket or whatever. It's funny, like, how can you afford anything with shit money? But then all these properties being bought up. We're on our own and we getting fucking crammed anyways. We're getting in trouble. Our land is being purchased because we cannot go to that place where like it leeches money out of us. And why? Why is that? Because everyone is on their own, so they jack up the prices because the only thing that matters is money. And if only thing that matters is money, then we're just trying to survive at some point. We're just trying to like, hey guys, does anything else matter, please? Isn't that crazy what we're doing right now? So, well, the greatest pitfall now is gonna be to get sucked into a vortex, not be elected in the election year. Because you need those votes. You need people to trust you and give you esteem and care about you in the election year. Suddenly, you will be shocked how that matters. But we'll get to that. Maybe I'll become successful just riding the wave of the universe itself. I don't have to even put effort. I can be lazy successful in a much different way, not lazy exploitative successful. The laziest way of doing things is catching a flow of things, being a part of a successful wave, not just trying to succeed as an individual, because it's hard for me to do that. Okay, I'm just learning things. There's so many things to learn, and I'm attached to that learning process, and there's already successful people who are yet to unsucceed from themselves and create that wave, basically create a tsunami as they fall so deeply, so powerfully, right? It will shake the whole meta of what we're at right now. Now, while things look lazy and unverified, I mean, I have been stacking my way up. I still have been on my own. Still have been attacked by this weird ass double capitalism, where people care about money and businesses care about money too, and they don't care about you in particular. And it's like very difficult feeling to actually comprehend for me as a thinker of like they really don't care about me. They just care about money. But isn't that bad? Isn't that like evil? And I can't comprehend that constantly. Tumbling and falling, not realizing how much it matters to people. You have to give up and understand that, well, most people are secretly greedy. There's not enough time to expose them for being greedy, but there's enough time to expose people as a whole very quickly of like, yes, everyone is greedy, everyone's gonna pick up that fucking $50, no one's gonna share money with each other, and they barely even talk to each other, which is extra greedy. If you care about money but you're not selling things to me, that's fucking really greedy, dude. Holy shit, my eyes are popping. There should be a pawn shop on every fucking corner imaginable. People selling fucking scrap and garbage just for me to come up and talk to, of like, oh, this and that. But no, there ain't nothing like that. There ain't no pawn shops to look at things. This capitalism failed for God knows what reason. Overregulated capitalism, scary capitalism. I mean, you name it. It's so hard to understand what the fuck is going on. With the biggest problem, like this, This could have been the solution that Donald Trump made, but instead he chose tariffs. Killing minimum wage would have been the solution to make people care about money just a little bit less, because anytime you can bump it down, people will naturally regravitate. They have nothing else going on, but they will have at least a challenge of how do you care about money when you have all these job opportunities open up, right? Maybe you care about jobs too. Maybe you care about getting a good fucking job, being surrounded by good people, and trying new things. All of a sudden, there's a temptation to pull back from money, but you should still end up making a bunch of money as your primary goal. Destroying things that scare people is the government's final move, you know, of actually alleviating scary capitalism. If we fail this, because we have only 3 years to do this, I mean, we're not gonna get anything good out of it. It's just gonna just be a bleak apocalypse. And by the time we are alleviated, we're just gonna shift our focus to AI. We don't care about money anymore. We care about creating anything we think of and just putting all over the place. Like AI robots gonna just paint everything nicely. Who needs renovation when we just get AI robots to put things together nicely everywhere? Just keep buzzing around like bees and putting things together, building buildings, all that shit. As if buildings can be 3D printed. AI robots just come in and solve a problem or call a dude. Dude economy. Like, shit's gonna evolve into that of robots buzzing around and building things and leading you to the next best thing, basically, that you could have. That would be the final version of AI world. To enter AI world, you should be that excited to get to the very end, right? You enter something, you want to get to the very end. Who was excited to enter the money world? All right, of like, you can be a billionaire. And everyone got the same story because everyone was successful. Until corruption and war that is very difficult to actually see started happening all around us. We have been robbed over and over and over again, and it doesn't seem to stop, which is the scariest thing. Money is being taken away from us every step of the way throughout the apocalypse of COVID shuts down businesses, wars create inflation, noise creates taxes all over the place. Taxes you never thought you knew. You had to go through. Like, if I have noise, right? I have to pay for noise cancellation as much as I can. My productivity levels go down, and I cannot trust my environment as much as I used to. You know? Things are more dangerous, people are more mentally ill, and I am taxed from every single fucking imaginable corner, including the government, being a tiny little bit of tax that they're trying to add on to the fucking pile of shit that I'm suffering from, you know? Everyone were able to be successful at the start, but no more is that the case. Capitalism is falling apart as we know it, and the game is shutting down. It is clear to see. The winners are toxic, the losers are toxic, and the survivors are just hoping that things fucking change already. That's it. As much as we are on our own, we should still pray and hope that everyone survives and everyone is fine. And I'm sending my prayers across the YouTubes, and it's like, here you go. I put the best effort that I can to be a maximum aware of the situation here. Hopefully, by watching the video just for a time, split time, you don't feel on your own because I put it for free. I didn't ask for money for once, like everyone else is asking, right? Everyone else is potentially corrupted and rat-like, grasping for greedy behaviors, right? Sinful behaviors. That's what it is. That's what a dollar sign represents. It represents sin. It just you don't see the other inconvenient parts of the dollar. It comes from a sin. You sin to get those dollars. Because you have to ignore everyone around you, whoever needs the dollars as well. You have to do all these bad things of having the dollar. The sin just is there. And it's a very complicated life when you attach yourself to something that is kind of sinful. And then people are talking about morality of dollars left and right because they're confused. Yeah, it's sinful. Move on. Don't waste time thinking about money too much because holy shit, it's sinful. It's a sinful behavior. Rather, try to spend less money and you will end up finding out that everyone is attempting to scam you, more or less. The less money you spend, the more you actually save. You will realize that you're escaping this matrix of scams. Which is why I keep reiterating cheaper food, escape rent as best as you can. Become homeless if you have to, funny enough. Whatever it takes, right? It's the thought that counts, and then you have to run. Run away from all the expenses. No, you will not keep the job forever. You are just an asset to someone else. It's a very difficult game to crank up that money to. If you can be useful and you really position yourself very well, meaning that you have a business, you know, if you promote yourself from an NPC to a business, even if you are owning business 50% of the world, significant amounts to be able to have a grasp on how to operate the business, the whole thing, right? Not just be an employee that can be fired. If you cannot be fired anymore, you have evolved to something that will not change because of the apocalypse. That will not collapse anytime soon, right? Is the NPCs that have to be worried about, which, why am I worried? I'm not a fucking NPC, dude. I'm almost here on the final path of existence. I even feel like I'm shitting on Donald Trump like everyone else, but I'm shitting that much harder. Because I know what the solution actually is. Removing minimum wage. Removing that shit. Not because businesses gonna be able to exploit people. That's not what's going on. You can't exploit people that easily. People are gonna socialize a lot more. People are gonna care about other things until they become comfortable again. Because finally an opportunity shows up and they can be active. They don't have to be depressed. This would create a movement in America. But like, just fix the fucking problem of like there's no jobs. So to create jobs, you remove minimum wage. You reset the fucking game. You can increase minimum wage slowly once more. Or you can set minimum wage for places that, you know, have a lot of jobs, but those jobs is something people complain about. They don't like those jobs. You know. So make those companies fire a bunch of people who are not valuable enough or collapse. You know, you can target companies specifically. You don't like this one and that one, and Trump would have a amazing field day with these fucking minimum wage requirements placed. Of like, you have rank 1 minimum wage, rank 2. You don't even have to name them in numbers, just ranks of how much you hate a company. Because putting minimum wages is the most hateful behavior because it causes problems. For the dude, for a politician in such a high rank to not actually see the problem, I'm higher. I'm on a higher path of way more successful potential and potential of just godlike fucking existence. The most rare path opens. Because everyone is yapping left and right of like this crisis triggers that. Maybe Trump did a good thing. He was thinking about this one positive outcome out of all the negativity. But it's difficult. Extracting positivity out of negativity, especially when it's barely visible, it's almost an impossible task. Because it requires synergies. It requires your positivity to overcome the negativity of being hateful towards everyone else. Like, who knows how many consequences that is gonna make? Just because Trump is like confident in himself doesn't matter, because he's on his own, and he's definitely not playing the right cards right now. Besides extending TikTok's existence, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that his presidency just started, and he can continue improving, even if it looks grim right now. He can still improve from failure, from getting a reset, getting a slap in the face, right? Getting humbled, then he will listen. Most people need to be humbled right now. They have been on their own for so long, but they have never been humbled to open up and be like, hey, if you're on your own, why don't you think it's a problem? Why don't you try opening up to other people and be nice to them for once? Why would you do that? I cannot take all the responsibilities. I cannot fix the world as a fucking whole. I can only look people in the eye and be upset that shit is not happening the way it should be happening. Now, I'm not a fucking joke. I'm not a homeless person. I live a pretty good life, and I'm pretty happy with it. All right? Because a lot of people are whining around. There's a lot of losers. And there's a lot of winners who don't feel like winners because they get into the most shittiest of drama. That when it resolves, when Amazon resolves its drama and workers don't like their jobs anymore, they're gonna quit Amazon. They're gonna let that shit collapse. They're gonna make Jeff Bezos cry for once. You love that. You love to see that. And we might even be able to compete and leech the system to make these billionaires cry really, really badly. Lose their Tesla stock really badly, and they're playing like fucking Super Mario platforming, jump from one collapsing thing to the other, in hopes that they will secure their wealth, basically. It's crazy. But we get to outplay them. We are smarter collectively and stronger. We just need to get those alleviations of fear that we can't find anything. We cannot find a good person to be with. We can't find anyone to talk to. We can't find anywhere to work. Just we keep not finding things. Which is really bad. But that's for the future, right? How can we use on your own mentality in our advantage? First of all, a lot of fears should alleviate because everyone is on their own. No one can just approach you and bully you right now. There's not enough energy to go around for that to happen. So you can go outside completely free of charge. No one's gonna pick on you unless you're in a fucking criminal territory or something. Because you have to remember you're on your own. If someone does pick on you, it's not easy. So you must not have valuables with you while you're being on your own. It is such a complicated dynamic. I keep looking into the future of like, lonely people will finally get humbled. Like, a lot of people gonna get humbled of, like, you have been on your own, but you could have been doing slightly better than that, right? People were willing, people were open to give you some time, but you let the system keep us on our own. You still have the choice because you're on your own. You can make choices. You just have to find things, though. Or collect things. Maybe the solution is understanding. Okay, I have to meditate because this is crazy complicated. I know it has a lot of value, a lot more value to give. I know it has the most uplifting, elevating conclusion because I keep looking into the future of, like, yes, the future is bright. What else is there? Like, when you're on your own, you can technically do whatever you like. You're not bothered by external forces to tell you. Besides, you don't have enough money. You don't have enough money, boy. You don't have enough money. Most millennials were on a downward trend anyways. They were riding the lows of capitalism. I got to, like, the only high of capitalism is technology. Technology was on the rise, so we were riding the lows of capitalism, but the rise of technology, right? So we got sucked into the screens and internet and social media. We just got sucked in as millennials, right? And guess what? We're still on our own. But we own everything that we build. As long as it's a positive experience and we put it on social media, we make progress. We do it on our own. And imagine criticizing other people who have gained much greater success or whatever, have been around for longer with higher quality videos, and I can still criticize them because I know they're on their own too. And they don't have much time to reply to all the comments or spread their tentacles across the, because they cannot tame AI to not be on their own and to be like a fucking a cloud of awareness and spreading, spamming everyone and pretending that they're talking to you, but they can't. OnlyFans is doing that right now. OnlyFans is trying to trick you of your money and trying to trick you that you're talking to a real person. The trickery is settling in, and you're not going to be on your own. You're going to be bombarded by deception, and you will never know whether you're talking to a real person or not. The game will change significantly. But one thing is clear, that statement is true. No matter what I'm trying to say, the statement is true for a limited amount of time as we move on to the next thing. So, what can be the conclusion that we can draw from this? This got to be a good one, man. The first thing I'm catching about this is that you have to tell yourself what you have to do, right? If you want to achieve something in life, you have to tell that to yourself. If you want to stop doing something, you have to tell stop to yourself. You have to make that shit louder. And you have to train your inner voice to tell you as higher quality of things as you possibly can squeeze out of that voice. Pretty good, right? Bring yourself to esteem to do great things. I will be willing to do that today. And again, you push out the negativity like a coin pusher. You put valuable things in and you push away the negativity. All the negativity comes out. All the new things are here and they're going to stick around for a long time, so they're a positive influence. Everything else is just that, right? So inner voice is the key. What else can we come up with? When people ask you for things, you remind them, don't ask me for shit. You're on your own. What you get is what you get. You can pay extra to try and change the situation because money is magic. Money can change the situation. You can finally find a friend. You can finally find a girlfriend with money, right? You just offer people money if you're capable of doing that. But otherwise, what you get is what you get. You can't complain about it too much. Move on to the next thing. You can try complaining about it. Don't be rude, though. You can attempt to ask for things, and this is what you should be getting. You're on your own. If you want something, you have to get it yourself. For fuck's sake. You keep asking for more things? Like, it's crazy. You're also on your own. You're not supposed to give things to just random beggars, basically. Although even I tried. Even I got bounced by asking for things. One thing I also noticed that is also pretty powerful is we share problems. If people are lonely across the globe, there's no actual way to escape problems universal. Like if rent is high and all over the place. So all problems happen to be global, and we can kind of relate over them. Because eventually people might be humbled to solve them one day. That would be crazy, right? Building awareness on that sounds like a deal. You like who you like, you have freedom, and you cannot be easily bullied anymore since the game is collapsing anyways. Nobody likes it. You can enjoy technology for what it gives you because it gives a lot of things. A lot of things are available, especially when it comes to secondhand experience. People being on their own, they leave things behind just like I do. Secondhand experience is usually 10 times cheaper than first-hand experience. There's also a Trumpian move being made by the government right now to scare people into selling their homes. Capitalism is collapsing across the world. We will call them Trumpian moves. Capitalism crippling moves of like, oh, I hate capitalism now for sure. What else is new? Egg prices are 5 times the size of normal price. It's nice to take a responsibility. It's nice to acknowledge problems because you can look into other people's eyes a very different way. You can appreciate them being on their own. They're being their own people, making their own decisions, and sort of being trustworthy. We cannot be trustworthy when the relationships are left and right, up and down. We can trust a person that we like for whatever we like them, as long as they keep their values. Because they're on their own and nobody's going to be tainted by someone else. Which is why people get into the groove of doing the same thing. Because that's their personality. And that's just who they happen to be. Untainted version of themselves. We're all interconnected with money as we exchange goods and services, but we are on our own, my friends. Which kind of makes morality more and more difficult to sustain. Again, people can fall through the cracks, so we have to, help each other out just a little bit. If my mom is not willing to do something useful, I have to force her to do it because no one's going to step in and change the game. We just have to force ourselves to do things. Force each other. If you have any relationship left over, it's probably an important one. And they're on their own too. And you both are on your own. Separated. It's weird. And probably maybe financial situation changes and you change people you hang out with immediately. You move on to a better situationship for yourself. Or somehow capitalism goes back to normal, little cute humbled thing during the apocalypse. Very soon it could happen. I don't think so. I think things are gonna get worse and worse in one direction and better in the other direction. You're on your own when it comes to like learning technology and educating yourself on self-improvement tricks of cramming your head with just as much awareness as you possibly can. You're on your own, and it's a tough journey. It is extremely entertaining. But you cannot just binge watch my videos. That's not what it's about. It's about you making the change that you have to do in order to entertain yourself. The most entertaining thing is good mental health. And then everything is happy. Everything is good. The next move you're gonna make is gonna be a slam dunk. And if you achieve anything in life right now, you will own it. That's what people want to know. What will you own at the end of all of this struggle? Because I spawned on my own in a pretty shitty family, okay? Pretty isolated and deprecated family. You're on your own, so you have to spend time for yourself, harvesting value for yourself, being a little bit selfish because there's no escape from that. There's no escape from privacy and selfishness because you're isolated. And you have to feel love anytime you pick up a thing, anytime you can purchase a thing, you have to feel the surge of positivity of like, wow, this item really helps me. And then you spread that positivity around. Maybe you want to buy this thing. Maybe that's how you create a business, by just spreading the products that you purchase and you're happy with. Who knows, man? It is a beautiful thing. To live life happy, openly, being honest about your struggles, but not being a stale target, moving on. You cannot struggle yourself into a mental illness and be proud of it. You're gonna be on your own. If you attach yourself mental illness, you're gonna be dragged down with tremendous gravity of negativity. That's what it is. Don't drag yourself down. Any negativity that attaches to you is very dangerous. This is why you have to kind of wear a suit of armor against everyone around you and think about yourself, not what other people want from you, because they might not be able to afford it. Thank you guys for watching, or thank you, the person watching, for watching, for we are all on our own, my friends, and you made it all the way till the very end. Congratulations.